and we'll analyze it. And I want to know exactly how fast was I going at each of these points. So I could place the line right there, and I can see that at that point, the point number 2, which was the right, was moving at 4.29 inches per second, and at the peak right here, it was 6.5. Right?
At that precise
At that
point.
precise.
That's
If I
so
want to
cool.
do it right there, then it changes. But what I really want to know is what's the difference between the two.
Right.
Okay. So I come up here to Tools, and I say I want to make a label. I want to add, and I want to find the range between those 2 points.
Right.
And I want to find it on the Y, not the X. But I want to do it, first we're going to find the difference in speed, okay? So we'll say Y. Okay, so it says, all right, hit the first point. So I'll choose this point, and I'll choose this point, and it shows me that there was a 2.095 inches per second difference at that point.
Okay.
Now let's say I want to do something, let's say escape now, finished. Let's do it again, and this time I want to find out what's the time between the cycles for each of those.
Okay.
How much time before I change?
How much time between hill strikes?
Right, exactly. So I go label, add, and this time I want the range, but I want it on the X because the X is time.
Okay.
Whereas the Y is the...
I got you. All right, so all you're doing here is you're looking at whatever variable you want, and that becomes your X and Y.
Exactly. So I'll
Perfect.
say Y. Okay. And I'll choose between this and this, and I find that
So here would be the time between the heel strikes, and this would be
the distance,
or
or
the speed.
The speed.
The speed.
Yes.
Velocity. The velocity.
Okay.
Yeah, velocity.
Okay. I did the Y. What's wrong with me? Let's try that again. Label, add, range on the X. Here and here. And then I want to do the red one. And here. Okay, so that's a timing factor. Very important gate, obviously.
And then you would go to tools again to get the range. Is that right?
The range. That is the range.
To figure out the difference between the two, isn't there something that automatically does that? I thought you went to
Label. Add.
I thought you did something here where you automatically subtracted these two.
Oh, that's on this. I'm finding out the difference. Okay, so I understand what you mean. Let's say I want to find out the range between the points.
Right.
Okay, so I say range on the X, and then in this case I would just hit this to this, and it tells me the difference between the points. I want to do this one to this one. I know what you mean. Instead of going on the baseline, I'm going on the peaks.
Right.
All right, cool.
Looks good.
If I wanted to erase some of these now, I could go back to Tool and I'll say Label, Remove, and it's, sorry, which one do you want to remove? Well, I made a mistake down here. It was number 3, I think. So I'll say remove this one. Okay. And I chose the wrong one, but it's okay. Now I want to maybe, I'm doing a presentation for a report or for a study I'm doing. I want to make a label on this. So I say Tools, Label, Add, and do a string that means a label, so I'll say left. Okay, and we decided that the red was left, didn't we? Okay, so left here, so I'll say this, boom. Okay, it makes a label. And I can go ahead and print that or save it as a picture or whatever.
Okay.
All right, cool.
Okay, so string equals label.
Yeah.
That's the kind of thing I'd be pulling my hair out trying to figure out.
Okay, so let's eliminate this graph and this graph and this. And now I want you to make me a graph. Actually, let me break this up. So range, or would it be one value point?
Well, it's going to be arranged throughout the whole.
Yeah. This is a value point, that's a value point.
Right.
So I want the range between the two value points.
Okay. So I have to pick a point on
Right.
between here and here?
Between the peak and the peak.
Okay.
But first you got to tell it what you have. Tools.
Yep.
That's right.
Yeah, label.
Yeah,
Add. We're going to add a range
Uh-huh.
to the interested in the X.
Right. No, we're not. X is time. Y
Oh, you're
is
interested in the speed.
the speed. So I want the speed. Okay.
And the string we're going to label this.
No, you don't label it. Just do it separately. Okay. And it tells you find point number 1. Yep. Find point number 2.
Did it automatically do that?
It tells you right here. You
I
write it down.
didn't see it change. Okay.
Yeah, it says find beginning, find end range.
Okay.
Go right at the top, and then put it someplace, and there it is. That's the
Okay,
difference
excellent.
in the speed. All right.
That's good.
Good. If you're you could also do multiples. You could go through and do some more of these if you wanted to. Or when I'm finished, I have to say escape.
Okay. And then, where do you want me to go from here? You want me to do something else here?
I don't know. Why don't you put the graph and the stick figure and the stick figure with the video with the stick figure up on the same screen?
Okay, so we go to graph.
No, you've got the graph.
I already have the graph, so we want to go to...
Forget about that. Go over here. Come down a little bit. Right there.
Yeah, we go all these and we go all the way across. That's right.
Okay.
Actually, I can set that thing he said
Yeah,
tile.
you can tell, but let's get everything we want first.
One of this. Which one was it? Was it the first one?
Yeah.
That's the video clip, yeah.
I'm going to say, okay, you got to choose one of those. You got to choose your starting point.
Okay, that's the video portion.
Mm-hmm.
And what was this? This was the video plus the stick. Okay.
Okay. Now, let's try with getting inside do Windows.
And then tile.
There it is. And let's see if it works. Go ahead and run it.
It's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Now your templates will run me through that, through what we just did.
My
your templates
manual will tell you
manual
exactly what you want to do for each study that we're going to do.
Okay.
Exactly.
Excellent. So I'll be able to basically reproduce this at home, correct? Before we meet again.
What I'm going to give you today is I'm going to give you a series of practice files for everything, for the gait, for the hand, and you'll be able to put those on your laptop and you'll play with that at home.
That's okay. Because next time we meet, I want to be able to just because this is just repetition.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
But I mean, if you get confused, you have the manual and you have the help screen here.
Right.
Tells you all about the display, what it is and so on.
As long as there's something, as long as we have a good reference and I can keep practicing on it and just do it over and over again, we'll be good.
You have a very expensive help. Go back to the help bar. Almost on every function.
Index.
And you can go to each one of them and click on one and give you examples and everything.
Okay.
Right. Okay. But there's the technical thing of making a file.
Right.
And that's what we just did. We created a file from scratch.
Right.
And then there's the professional aspect of knowing what you want to look for. What I want to do.
I'm not as concerned about that with the FCE.
Because that's straightforward. I tell you what files to make.
I'm more concerned about realizing that string means label and this means that.
You're just.
And that's the stuff I want to know.
That's exactly correct. Excuse me a second.